Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. How are you doing?
Well, thanks. How's your week?
Good. Oh, it was not long enough, but
Yeah,
it was
that's how I feel
good.
too.
And I've
Definitely.
already got it started on the recording.
Go
Okay.
ahead. Can you give me the ability to share my screen?
Yes. Let me. Um, okay, there we go. You should be able to now.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. So the purpose of this meeting is to describe to you the connection method between
Okay.
um, Dynamics and um, HubSpot via TIPCO Scribe. Um, so I'm just gonna go ahead and start, I guess. So
Okay.
it's gonna be stored in portal.azure.com, which
Okay.
you have access to. And then you're going to go under app registrations. I'm just showing you right now how to get to it. I
Okay.
think you should have access to it. So if you are trying these steps now or after the call, just let me know if you can actually see it. Um, but the app that I created, I've got two here that I created. One is the one that's actually being used. It's this D365 one.
Okay.
Um, and the way it connects is with, as I've mentioned in my emails before, it's kind of a weird sounding thing, right? It's client secret.
Yeah.
Um, so it allows us to interface with Dynamics in such a way that it does not require a user license like a licensed Dynamics user.
Right.
Then B, it also allows us to access the system without using a username and password. So
Okay.
there's just kind of additional security there, and it's really uh, hard, if not I don't want to say impossible, but I don't know of a way in which like this could be leaked.
Yeah.
Because even I, once the token or once the secret is created, if you navigate away from the page, it's uh, basically locked down, and you can't, I can't as a user then see what the secret is. So you have to store it someplace securely so that you can use it for setting up connections. Anyway, so this is the app registration. The
Okay.
secret that the certificate secret that I was referring to is under certificates and secrets,
Okay.
and this is it.
Perfect.
So you can
Okay.
see the actual value is what you use that acts as more or less the password.
Right.
Um, and as you can see, it's blanked out here. I can't really access it in any way, shape, or form. I can only copy the secret ID.
Okay.
Um, the thing that is important about this is that this client secret expires. So the
Okay.
max that it can be set to is for 2 years. So I created this some time ago. It will expire in a couple months, and I
Okay.
have a notification on my Outlook calendar the day before it expires to go ahead and update this, which I am perfectly happy to take responsibility for, and then uh, update the Scribe connector with it.
Okay.
That should not be a problem. But for the
Okay.
sake of just showing you how this is done, I'm just going to go ahead and create a new client secret, and I'll probably just end up deleting it once I'm done. Click on new, and this is just going to be a test. The expiration, as I said, can only go up to 24 months. I've tried doing custom and extending
Yeah.
it beyond 2 years, and it wouldn't let me.
Okay.
Um, when you click add, you can see now I have the entire secret value exposed.
Gotcha. And
So
then it
then,
disappears as soon as you leave
yeah,
this
yeah. So
page.
then what
Okay.
I do is I copy it out of here. The two important factors are the secret value and then the object ID of this particular app, which you can get to at any point in time.
Okay.
And then keep those in a secure location, um, wherever that
Gotcha.
might be, and then you can just reference it for the future. Um,
Okay.
Actually, I think I am going to leave this out.
Yeah.
Well, no, I'll just create it. So I'll just go ahead and delete it. And then the object ID, if you go to the overview,
Okay.
I'm sorry, the application client ID. I always get those two mixed up. This is the one that more or less acts as the username when you're setting up the connection.
Okay.
And then the secret acts as the password.
Understood. Okay.
And then in Dynamics, just so that you can see this, I did have to, if you ever want to do this in the future, you can set up as many app registrations in here for Dynamics, I think, as you want. I don't really think there's a limit to it. So if you have another integration or another integrator, software being used, or if there was another third-party software that you wanted to hook up with TIBCO, you could create a separate connection for that particular one and not use this D365 one.
Okay.
So the way you do that is once you've created the application in Azure,
Mm-hmm.
you then create an application user in Dynamics.
Okay.
And hopefully it won't take forever to load. So typically, you just can't create a user just as it is because it's synced up with Azure or wherever your Active Directory is, and then it will automatically populate a user. So what you have to do is instead of clicking new here, you have to change this view to looking for application users. Why do I not see that?
I don't see it either. I see local business user, my connections.
Do it. Well, that's strange because it usually that's gonna yell at me for doing that. So if the view isn't there, how precisely did I do this the first time? Administrative access users. That can't be it because that's still gonna get me an error.
Could it be under the when you go to security and then could it be under security roles instead of users? I don't know if
No,
it would be or
because
not.
that's specifically regarding security roles as
Oh,
security
okay.
roles without users, though. Let's see. Only access users, subsidiary users, team members, users. Huh. It's very strange because typically,
What's the view called?
application users.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay.
Let's see something.
Weird.
I'm gonna jump over to my Dynamics over here quickly and just kind of compare Trellis Point's Dynamics instance with this one. See if I'm mistaken somehow, which is very possible.
Let me see. I'm trying to see if I see it on my side.
See it over there either. So either
It could
something's changed or I am not recalling.
could it be local business users? The only I don't know if it is or not, but I see when I go to that view, there's
A lot of
yeah, like almost like service looking accounts. What is that?
I'm gonna try something else really quickly. Just
Okay.
gonna try to pull up the user in particular. And it's not extremely important that you understand this process, but it's kind of nice to know.
Yeah, absolutely.
There is documentation out there, Microsoft documentation on using application users. So if I can't run through it here, then you can always find it online. Yeah, so there's a particular form called application user. And when you create a new one, you just paste in the application ID, which is this right here, save the record, and then the rest of this will be automatically populated. The last thing you have to do once that is done is actually assign a user role to this, a security role to this this user. So I just gave it the system administrator role so that it
Okay.
doesn't have any issues with the integration,
Okay.
creating anything or anything like that. Yeah, that's very strange. We'll have to see if I can figure that out after this call.
I just actually Googled it and it looks like you it's saying in this that you access it through the Power Platform Admin Center, which
Changed that.
yeah, they change stuff a lot, don't they?
Okay.
Where's the Power Platform? There it is.
Yeah. Well, that's okay. I'm not going to go through that right here. So that's basically it. So the most important thing you have to bear in mind is just the end date of the particular client secret that you created. That's
Gotcha. Okay.
and my recommendation is just to put a reminder on Outlook calendar or somewhere where, you know, if it's visible to you, great. If it's visible to other people, wonderful, so that they
Yeah.
know to come in here and update it, you know, create a new one. And then once it's updated, you'll have to go into the, you know, whatever applications are actually using this user and update the connection with the new client secret value.
Okay. Okay.
Uh, and that is pretty straightforward.
Okay. Excellent. Do you have to do anything in Tibco?
Yeah, so that's what I mean. It's going to be a matter of let's see if I can. So assuming I did that. Now with Tibco, I'm not 100% sure. Since I think they're updating of users is a little bit funky.
Yeah.
So if I just came in here, sort by created on here. Okay, so this is the one that I created.
Okay.
So this is the D365 user. Yeah, okay. So all you'd have to do is, you know, kind of again going back to the client secret. If I created a new one, I copied the value. What I should do is just come into this connection, overwrite the
Update
client
it.
secret here, test it, and you should be good to go. That should be
Okay.
it. So the difference between this connector and the other one, or the original one that we had, let's see, CRM, this one right here. Compare these two. So this is the one that I created on the left. This is the one that was created at some point on the right. The deployment type is different. That's the main difference.
Oh,
So
okay.
the old one
Gotcha.
is Azure AD, and that I think is authenticated through a username and password potentially. And
Yep.
then what I did was I created with the deployment type of connection string, and that
Okay. Gotcha.
and the authentication type. So within connection string deployment, you have different authentication types. And
Okay.
the one that I needed was the client secret one.
Gotcha.
So that's how
Okay.
you would do it in the future if you wanted to create a separate connector.
Okay.
So yeah, updating it is going to be really simple, thankfully.
Okay, perfect. Awesome. Well, that's pretty straightforward. Okay. Awesome. All
Yeah,
right. And then
that's
I
basically
was able to actually find the application users in the Power Platform Admin Center.
okay. Great.
It's not easy to find, but yeah, of course. But you know, but I did find it, so that's
Okay,
good. So I have that, and I'm gonna keep this article, and actually, I'll send it to you too if you'd like. Just
that would be great. I would love to to learn
absolutely,
how you do it
yeah,
these days.
I can't believe they change stuff so often. I actually have a Microsoft exam Friday, and
Oh,
some of the things I'm taking or I'm studying with like a Udemy course, and some of the and this Udemy course was actually published, I think, not last week, but the week before. And I've already noticed some of the things have changed in,
ugh.
versus the lecture. And I'm like, God, they change stuff so quick. It's like, how can you study when things might be in a completely different spot in a
Yeah,
week? It's crazy. But
yeah, it is busy. Well, good luck.
well, thank you.
I
Thank
always
you
have
very
the
much.
yeah once every couple